The following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers. This is the TFangy coming to you with my first video in almost 2 weeks. I was sick with a cold, old for over a week, and so I'm finally getting back on track. So before I get around to my reviews, I have once again another haul video of Transformers figures I purchased recently off the internet. So yeah, after this video, I'm hoping to finally get back to making reviews. So first up, we have two Transformers figures that recently were released at Amazon, but coincidentally, they're also showing up at Walmart stores. I don't know if they're showing up at Target stores yet, but definitely Walmart. So first up, we have what is making excitement around Transformers fans and collectors because this figure might be the next best figure to be released in the line that it's a part of, and it is none other than the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Autobot Ratchet. So yeah, a lot of Transformers fans and collectors who've managed to find Ratchet either at Walmart or they got their pre-order from Amazon sent to them early. They're all saying that Ratchet might be the first Gamer Edition figure since Optimus Prime to be one that's not only exciting to have, but fun to transform, and overall is a pretty fantastic Transformers action figure. So, yeah, this guy is a contender for Gamer Edition Optimus Prime for the title of Best Gamer Edition figure being released. The Gamer Edition line's been really hit or miss lately, with most of the figures being either mediocre or below subpar expectations from Transformers fans and collectors, and so overall, the Gamer Edition line's been one that's you either completely love it or you completely hate it with not much middle ground. So, yeah, a lot of Transformers fans and collectors are already hoping that sometime in the very near future, Hasbro announces that Gamer Edition Ratchet will be repainted and retooled into a Gamer Edition figure of Ironhide. So, fingers crossed that happens. Next up from Amazon, we have the first of the three new deluxe class figures from Wave 4 of Legacy United, and it is this guy, the deluxe class Generation 1 Optimus Prime. So yeah, this figure is designed to be a modern day version of the original Generation 1 Optimus Prime action figure in the size of a deluxe class as Transformer. We've quote unquote gotten G1 style. I'll Actually, no, I take back the sarcastic quotations. Basically, the Legacy United Deluxe Class Optimus Prime figure, it's not based off of Generation 1 Optimus Prime's appearance in the Transformers Generation 1 cartoon. It's based more off the design of his original Generation 1 action figure. Some collectors who managed to get a hold of this figure already who have one of the reissues of Generation 1 Optimus Prime, such as the most recently released Missing Link Optimus Prime figure. This figure is about two-thirds the size of the original Generation 1 Optimus Prime figure, so it's not entirely size accurate, but the design to the original Generation 1 on Optimus Prime action figure that was released back in 1984 is quite similar compared to this figure. So that's what this version is supposed to do. It's supposed to be a modern-day version of the Generation 1 action figure Optimus Prime. That Takara Tomy originally released in the Diaclone Robots line in 1983. So, for those of you who ever wanted to have a Earthrise Optimus Prime, or basically a Generation 1 Optimus Prime action figure that looks like the original figure but with modern articulation, but you can't afford to import the Takara Tomy exclusive Missing Link action figure, well, here's Hasbro's response to Missing Link, an entirely brand new Optimus Prime action figure in deluxe class size. So it's smaller than the G1 and Missing Link figures, and it has no trailer, but it's at least got the battle axe. So yeah, this is definitely an action figure that's for Optimus Prime fans such as myself. So this might, for some Transformers fans who don't like the design of the Generation 1 Optimus Prime action figure, if you don't like the proportions of the robot mode, or you think the transformation's too simplistic, or you just don't like the designs of both the robot mode and the vehicle mode, or vice versa, then this figure could surprisingly be an Optimus Prime figure that could be a pass for some more critical Transformers fans and collectors. But for those who are more lenient, this is definitely, in my opinion, a must-have Transformers figure. It's just the luck of Transformers fans and collectors who got this deluxe class Optimus Prime figure. It's just our luck. Hasbro will announce that this figure will be re-released in leader class sized with a tray with a brand new trailer, just like they did with the Core Class Optimus Prime, where they released it without a trailer first and then released it with a trailer later on. So yeah, those are my figures from Amazon. And then I have some exciting news. I purchased my first ever Transformers action figures off of Hasbro's own website, Hasbro Pulse. They all arrived today. Hey, so I'm really thrilled to have these Transformers action figures. So, first up, we have my first and possibly my only Transformers action figures that are being released in the new subline called Transformers Comic Edition. According to what I read on the Transformers Wikipedia the other night, the Comic Edition subline of Transformers figures, it's basically going to replace the Transformers Shattered Glass subline. If I can gently tilt my camera up a bit, so you can see I still have the Shattered Glass Rodimus and Sideswipe 2-pack in the box that I still have to review, and then over here behind me is Shattered Glass Megatron, and then there's also Shattered Glass Optimus Prime back there. So it appears that Hasbro is going to end the Transformers Shattered Glass line and replacing it with the Transformers Comic Edition line, which I personally hope that they don't, because I really enjoy the Shattered Glass Transformers. And unlike the Comic Edition Transformers, I think the Shattered Glass Transformers figures might have been available more readily than Hasbro Pulse exclusives. I could be wrong, they could have been Hasbro Pulse exclusives, but regardless, enough babbling. First up, from the Transformers Comic Edition subline, we have the 2-pack of Autobot Flame and Emirate Zeron. So yeah, these are two. So the Comic Edition Transformers Armor subline, it's brand new. The first figures released in Wave 1 were the Comic Edition versions of Grimlock and Shockwave, which were basically repaints of the Studio Series 86 Leader Class Grimlock, which I still have to review, and the Siege Leader Class Shockwave figure from 2019, done in the paint jobs that they had in the original Generation 1 comic books that were published by Marvel. And so a lot of Transformers fans and collectors were excited when Hasbro announced that the figures being released in Wave 2 weren't just comic paint job versions of previously released characters, but they were characters that have only appeared in the Transformers Generation 1 comic books. So we've got Autobot Flame, who's Moldamates with the Gamer Edition Megatron figure, and then we've got Emirate Zeron, who is Moldamates with the Siege Reflector figure from way back in 2019. So apparently a lot of the designers at Hasbro and Takara still feel that some of the Transformers A War for Cybertron on trilogy designs from 2019, 2020, and 2021 still have potential to be used again. And so yeah, really excited to have these guys. Autobot Flame, he started off as a hero, but then he descended into a state of madness later on. And Emirate Zeron, after reading up on these guys on the Transformers Wikipedia, he never actually had a vehicle mode in the comic books. He never transformed because he didn't like to, so this Cybertronian tank vehicle mode, this is entirely brand new for this character, having it here on his first ever action figure. So that's exciting to see. So yeah, both these guys are Autobots, even Autobots. So Emirate Zeron, I believe he has a 2-word name. First word in his name is Emirate, and the second one is Zeron, although I could be wrong. I thought Emirate was a title of a type of diplomat. But yeah, they're both Autobots, so they aren't enemies, and this is a reprint of one of the Generation 1 Transformers comic books. It has been modified somewhat. Instead of the publisher's name and the price tag, it now has Takara Tomi's logo up here. And instead of the original Hasbro logo on the comic book, it now has the new Transformers Generations logo. And we've got a handful of Autobots. We've got Emirate Zeron pictured here on the back, and then we've got a I believe we've got Springer up here. We've got down here. We've got Ultra Magnus, who's hanging upside down. And then I thought I read someone say that the third Autobot might be Smokescreen or someone else. I don't know who it is, but yeah, you've got these Autobots being crushed by this giant hand. And then yeah, some stuff I should be going on when I eventually get into reviewing these guys. But yeah, really thrilled to have those. And then next up we have another comic edition action figure. So shout out to Norb's Diecast. His review inspired me to get this figure, and it is Transformers Comic Edition Straxus. So yes, Straxus has finally arrived. I'm thrilled about this guy. Straxus, I thought I read on the Transformers Wikipedia, he only appeared in two of the Transformers comic books before he was defeated by Blaster, Scrounge, and I can't remember what, if any other Autobots helped to defeat him. But yeah, Straxus is a pretty intimidating and pretty uh, sinister Decepticon once you find out who he is. Basically, Straxus was the warden for the Decepticon prison called the Dark Mount, and he was not more of an executioner than a warden. So any Autobots or Decepticon traitors who ended up inside his prison walls, Straxus made was quick to make sure that they wished that they weren't alive anymore, or while under his watch. The only one who managed to get away was Blaster, who eventually defeated Straxus. So that's why Blaster is the Autobot depicted battling Straxus in a fight to the death. So that's pretty interesting there. And this is and I believe all of the covers for these comic edition Transformers figures, they're reprints of some of the original G1 comic books back from 1984, 1985, 1986, and so on throughout the 80s. So yeah, it's pretty nice to see that there. Got some artwork of Optimus Prime up here in the corner, so that's pretty neat to see that. You got some artwork of Straxus done here, just like I showed with Flame and Emirate. And one thing to note about the box art for the comic edition Transformers is that they're all different panel sections of the same image. So if you get all of the so that's an incentive from Hasbro to get collectors to buy all of the Transformer Comic Edition figures, is that you've got the box art for all of them. You can put it all together and make a mural of it. Here on Straxus's box, you've got a part of Emirate's hand, which is cut off on the box here with the box art for Emirate and Flame, Aim, and then you've got Aim, and then here also in Straxus's box, you've got the tip of Comic Edition Grimlock's tail on there. So starting with Shockwave, Ave, and then continuing with Grimlock, all of the Comic Edition box art, it makes this same image, whether or not that's an original image, or if it's just I just lost the word, collage of different comic images that were originally made back in the 80s. I honestly can't say, but it's interesting thing there, and it's a sneaky incentive from Hasbro to get everyone to buy all of the comic edition Transformers. But it's not sneaky enough to convince me to get the comic edition Grimlock and Shockwave figures. I was only interested in these figures because these are the first ever action figures of Flame and Emirate, and since they're action figures of characters I don't have or didn't even hear of until these figures were announced, I decided to get them. Technically, this is the second action figure of Straxus that's been released by Hasbro. Hasbro released a deluxe class figure of Straxus way back in 2010 in the original Transformers Generations line. Hasbro couldn't get a registered trademark on his name from the comic books of Straxus. He was named instead after the prison that he guarded, Dark Mount. And when I saw that figure back in 2010, I figured, you know what, it had, with his mostly blue paint job, his menacing Cybertronian battle tank, and his overall appearance, I thought he looked like a pretty badass Decepticon, so I figured why not add him to my collection. So this is technically the first action figure of Straxus where Hasbro managed to successfully get a registered trademark on the name he had in the comic books, so that's really great to see. And and just like all of the comic edition Transformers figures, Straxus is a repaint and a retool of a previously released figure. He's a retool of the Kingdom / Legacy Galvatron figure. So that's really nice to see. The Galvatron mold used to make another menacing Decepticon. And basically, you could imagine Straxus being almost like Tarn from the Decepticon Justice Division, only instead of being out in the shadows and working on the battlefield, he's actually the prison guard working inside the jail cells. So yeah, that's pretty terrifying when you come to think of it. And finally, the last but definitely by no means least, we have the most recent Transformers action figure to be released in the latest United line that has Transformers fans and collectors buzzing with excitement because this is only the second action figure of this character that's been released since the original Generation 1 was released back in 1988, and it is none other than the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Transformers Legacy United Core Class Combiner Dino King. So yes, here he is in all his splendor and glory. Here's Dino King with all of it, the six Dino Force. That's the team name of the Decepticons who combined to form him. And a lot of Transformers fans and collectors were saying ever since the Core Class Dinobots were announced, when it was announced that the sixth Dinobot was going to be an Ankylosaurus. Or a lot of Transformers fans and collectors knew that it was going to be the Ankylosaurus from the uh, from the Dino King team Dino Force. Or so that was almost instant confirmation that uh, the core class Dinobots were going to become mold mates with the Dino Force, and that Volcanicus was going to be mold mates with Dino King. And it's made some Transformers fans and collectors actually question if the molds were originally designed for the Dino Force, and Hasbro released the G1 Dinobots along with the the Ankylosaurus Dinobot, Scar. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. I should have looked it up for start recording their video, but yeah, that's pretty exciting seeing Dino King here. He is one of the Decepticons who served under Deathsaurus during the Japanese exclusive season of Transformers Generation 1 titled Transformers Victory. So this guy is technically meant to stand amongst the HasLab Transformers figures, specifically Victory stand opposite Victory Saber and stand beside Deathsaurus. So yeah, it's pretty neat to finally have action figures of Dino King. I honestly never thought that the Dino Force would be some of the Transformers characters that I would one day have action figures of in my collection. So pretty neat to finally have a combiner that I never thought Hasbro would release, even if it is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. Um, Dino King's not entirely Generation 1 accurate. The Dino Force, they were a part of the Pretender subline. So in addition to, that's one of the reasons why they are core class sized Transformers and why they're Volcanicus is a core class sized combiner. They were basically Pretender Transformers where they would, in addition to combining into Dino King and having both their individual dinosaur modes and their own robot modes, the Dino Force team members uh, store or themselves inside Pretender shells that were much larger, more organic-looking dinosaurs. And in the Transformers Victory cartoon, the Pretender shells actually had their own uh, personalities and their own minds. So there were technically 12 members of the Dino Force, six of which were the Pretender shells, which acted as the dinosaurs, the more beastly members of the Dino Force, and then the six inner robots of the Pretenders would combine into Dino King. And so, unfortunately, Hasbro and Takara Tomy currently have no plans whatsoever on releasing modern day action figures of the Pretender Transformers. A few years ago, during almost a decade ago, actually, during BotCon, they tried to release some modern Pretender shells, but they realized that the gimmick it was too expensive to sell at mass retail. So I can't say that with absolute certainty. So please don't quote me on that. I'm just spitballing it, but yeah, There's currently no plans whatsoever from either Hasbro nor Takara Tomy to release dedicated Pretender Transformers action figures, and the most recent Transformers figures that actually try to utilize the Pretender gimmick of having a smaller robot storing inside a larger robot was seen during the Transformers Power of the Primes line back in 2018 when we got the Prime Masters during that subline of Transformers Generations, and with the Power of the Prime Masters being the only modern Pretender Transformers figures that actually do the gimmick of the smaller robot inside the larger robot shell. It's highly unlikely Hasbro and Takara Tomy are going to upscale that into larger sizes, even core class. But yeah, make no mistake, Dino King is definitely a must-have figure for anyone's Transformers collection. And to my knowledge, this right here, I believe, is the first time we've gotten the entire poster image for Legacy United in its entirety with no cutoffs or being split apart for different Transformers boxes. So yeah, there's a nice, fully non-broken up image of the Legacy United logo. And one thing I really enjoy about Dino King is that the design of the box is just like the Transformers Generation 1 gift sets from the original Generation 1 combiner box sets. As you've got the old Generation 1 uh, uh, white square, white outlined grid pattern there on the background. And you've got the Legacy United logo there, where the Transformers logo was, I believe, on the Takara Tomy exclusive Transformers boxes, and um, yeah, you've got some um, uh, you got a bio and some tech specs down here for Dino King. You don't get them for the 6 individual Dino Force members, just the Dino King combiner. But yeah, pretty exciting seeing all these things here. And then of course for Dino King himself, you've got some actual combiner hands and feet and additional weapons that the Volcanicus Dinobot Core Class combiner lacked. And so, I'll go into more details when I eventually get around to reviewing this. But yeah, that's pretty nice there. So that has been my most recent haul of Transformers action figures, and now that I've I've added all the Transformers action figures that I would want to add to my Transformers collection. Whether or not I'm going to keep buying Transformers from Hasbro Pulse, I'll have to decide that for myself. But I am glad that I was able to get Dino King along with the comic edition, Emirate Flame, and Straxus Transformers. So that's pretty impressive looking there. Um, and also, Amazon is Wave 4 of Legacy United is almost all the figures have been released except for the deluxe class figures. The solitary leader class figure from Wave 4 of Legacy United, which is right there behind me, which is it's the Armada Galvatron figure. We've also got the core class figures of Energon Galvatron and Geocron, and then we've got the Voyagers of Animated Motormaster, and then we've got that stupid repaint of Metal Hawk, and then I believe that's it. Yeah, so the only last Legacy United Wave 4 figures to be released are the 3 deluxes. Deluxe Class Optimus Prime has been released by Amazon. They're slowly starting to appear on the shelves of retail stores. Amazon still has the other 2 Legacy United Wave 4 deluxes of Slipstream and Quake, street dated for January 1st, but other websites are saying that Slipstream and Quake will be released before the month of October ends, so hopefully Amazon will bump up the street date for those 2 figures releases, and they'll be available on Amazon's website soon. And of course, Gamer Edition Ratchet is now out, and yeah, he might be one of the most impressive Gamer Edition Studio Series Transformers figures we've gotten. So thank you guys all so much for watching. This has been the TFN Geek, and now that I'm over my cold, hopefully I can get back on track and finally start recording my reviews. With these 5 additions to my Transformers collection, I now have 65 Transformers action figures to review, and I have to be honest with you guys, I am now close to being 2.5 years behind on getting all of my Transformers reviews. So facepalm moment. I can't believe I'm 2.5 years behind. If I were to do a review at night, it would take me close to 2.5 months to get all the Transformers figures done. So I am hoping beyond hope that even if I have the time this weekend to actually record reviews, I'm hoping that I'll be able to also have the motivation to getting them done. Between my job and having to help my family on the weekend, it's been mentally exhausting. Even when I wasn't before I was sick with my cold. So if you guys can just wish me luck in finding the motivation to finally recording my reviews again, because I am eager to get all of these Transformers action figures out of their boxes. I am sick and tired of seeing this wall all staring at me all day and night. So hopefully I can finally get around to doing it. So Thank you guys all so much, and until next time, you guys, please remember to stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you to all my subscribers and to all my friends for your continued support. So until next time, you guys, transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.